I came in late tonight. I don't have enough time tonight to do any kind of in-depth analysis of the whole minor in possession charge. I'll have to do that tomorrow. But I did want to go ahead and just get in a 5-minute spiel here. I'm going to go ahead and play the judge's comments. Then I'm going to describe why I was right all along. Hello out there. I am trying to get through.
With his powerful brainwaves cradled in the warmth of reasoning, it's time for Johnny Walker Dredd to straighten you out on a thing or two. Emanating all the way from exciting Las Vegas, Oklahoma, it's the Johnny Walker Dredd Show.
Okay, so we had a hearing. The judge decided that he was going to deny the motion for now of the defense team. And a lot of people out there going, oh no, Kyle lost. No, Kyle's winning this one. The judge is basically saying that the defense appears to have the prosecution on the ropes a little bit here. Let's go ahead and play what the judge says.
Well, this would not be, if the purpose of the legislation was to neuter the statute itself, it wouldn't be the first time the legislature did that either. They sometimes do pass exceptions to this found for whatever reason, either by design or by oversight, and if legislation gets passed without knowledge of what's in there, then it would be easy to do exactly that. I'm going to deny the motion for now, but that's no guarantee I won't re-examine this. I don't feel comfortable. It's a penal statute, and to hold people accountable for laws, the basic rule, and there's plenty of interpretation on it, but the basic concept of the rule is that it has to be clear to ordinary people. And if you've got, judges spending hours here and hours more at an appellate level trying to figure out exactly what the statute says, how does that serve the people?
Okay, so let's go ahead and sort of disaggregate this a little. He's referring to the rule of lenity. And basically the idea is that ignorance of the law is no excuse. We've heard that since we were little kids, right? If you're speeding and you didn't know what the speed limit was, but it was 35 miles per hour, you can't come in and complain to the judge and say, well, I didn't know that it was 35 miles per hour. Ignorance of the law is no excuse. And so we have this rule here that we expect every member of the citizenry to understand the laws and obey them. However, you cannot obey laws that you can't understand, and therefore it is incumbent upon the legislation to go ahead and make all laws as plain language as possible. And the judge is saying, look, if I'm a judge and I can't figure this thing out, how are we expecting a 17-year-old kid to know? That's a good point. The judge, however, is uncomfortable with granting the motion to dismiss the charges. He doesn't want to dismiss them yet. He's going to think about them a little bit more. But the prosecution here has a problem. And that is every attempt by them to try to make it as simple as possible. In fact, Binger says it all the time, right? Like, oh, it's plain as day. It's stated right here. It's as simple as that. He keeps saying that over and over and over again, but it's not as simple as that, and the judge knows it. And at some point, I think that the judge is either going to kick this thing up to the appellate court, or he's going to make a decision which will probably land on the defense's side, I'm guessing. Now, who said that? I did. If you go back to December, in the pretrial hearings, the court commissioner was Lauren Keating, and he was hosting this whole deal with the minor possession charge. And he decided that, you know what, I'm not going to drop the charges on that. Everybody claimed, oh, there's a big loss to Kyle. Lauren Keating is a county commissioner. He's like a magistrate. He is not going to settle an issue here about the legality of a statute at his level. He's going to kick it up to the actual trial court. And I said at the time, it was no big deal. There was no way in hell that Kyle's defense team was going to get the minor possession charge dropped. And I also said at the time, and if you go back and you'll play it, you can remember me saying it, that Judge Bruce Schroeder might not even want to deal with it, and that he might want to just go ahead and head it up to the appeals court. And I think that's kind of what he's doing here. So will he actually rule on this? Well, I think he has to, and he could very well deny the motion. But for all practical purposes, that means he's going to let the appeals court decide it. And of course, he could come in and drop the charges completely, and we'll see. However, I did predict it. The judge is not comfortable with dismissing charges. I didn't think he would be, and he's struggling with this quite a bit. And frankly, I don't give a whole lot of kudos to the defense here. I don't think they've done a great job on this. I've read their motion. I'm not really convinced. I thought I actually laid out a better argument that would have nailed down that Kyle was perfectly legal to carry the rifle that night. But they didn't listen to me. But in the end, I kind of think that they're going to win the day here. I said at the time it's about a 50-50 chance, but according to what I'm hearing from the judge, I think that right now the chances are about 70-75% that the charges are going to get dropped. Like my video, subscribe to my channel, and we'll see if I'm right or wrong.